Hi, this is J.D. Sanders, VYPE High School Sports Media Publisher for Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to VYPE TV, Texas High School Football Playoff edition. I'm sitting in this week for the Tom Landry Classics. Chris Cumnock, who's a little bit under the weather. He's the executive director over there. Thankfully, with me, per normal, is our guru, in-house guru, David McNabb.
And missing Chris, and he said he's not responsible for your picks. He's not standing by those in full faith and guarantee of those.
Well, that's pretty good since I'm probably going to draw straws.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I don't have to be the experts. We have guys like you and Chris. Chris will be doing a story online that we'll post tomorrow. He'll also have a short video from his sick room, I guess. We've got him quarantined. But as we were setting up here today, David McNabb, we were discussing with everything going on with the controversies, with injuries and concussions and things of that nature, there's really not much better entertainment than Texas high school football.
No, there's great games and great pageantry. I mean, I think we went through a transition a couple years ago where people are going, boy, these halftime shows are getting really long, and it just boosted participation. But now those are an accepted part, and the coaches and kids have adjusted to having 40-minute halftimes. And the games are really thrilling. We're having 31-point comebacks. We're having touchdowns scored with 41 seconds left. We're having great highlight reel plays. We're having kids burst out of nowhere that are obviously becoming stars. So unless you've been in a town, 5A to Class A to 6-man, that's had a team that's made a playoff run, you can't imagine the community camaraderie that builds. It's just very hard to see it in any other sport.
I think you're right, David. I know that, can you imagine a Friday night football game or a playoff game without the band, without the cheerleaders? You really can't. Some people, I know in the press box, we hear some complaints sometimes, but I agree it's been accepted. It's fantastic. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Texas high school football season on its own has a $1.5 billion impact on the state of Texas.
Well, and that's not hard to believe, and I guess some of it is just sheer numbers. Even in small towns, you have 60 guys on the team, and then when you add cheerleaders, band members, I mean, you're talking 60 or 70% of a high school that's probably participating in it, and then you spider that out to cousins and uncles. Oh, they're playing in AT&T Stadium, or they're playing in Allen Stadium. What a great time to go watch them. And we've actually had pretty nice weather through this. We've had like one weekend where it's kind of rainy and cold, and I think I was at AT&T Stadium, so it was like watching a game in a mall. So I was oblivious to all that.
That participation is important. I'll leave you with one more stat before we get to it. Every week, beginning with 2-a-day football practices, just over 1 million Texans participate in some high school football related activity every week.
Yeah,
every week.
That's not hard to.
And so it is a lot. So anyway, we're in Texas, and it's big high school football. Moving on, David. Talk about a recap real quick. Last week, give me the things you got wrong, things you got right. Thing about Chris, I was perfect because I didn't make any predictions.
Yeah, I liked Denton Ryan, and actually was surprised that Fossil Ridge got out to such a big lead. Then, of course, Denton came back from 31-0. Denton Ryan actually was down 23-10 to Midway the week before. So they have a good team, and when they get that kind of confidence, and it's going to be hard to stop them, because what are they going to be, down 31 points again? And so they're still going to think they can win, because the second half goes pretty fast. That's only 24 minutes.
That's right.
So Denton Ryan, I think, has been a real surprise story. And now Wiley beating South Oak Cliff, particularly as convincing as they did. They're a 4-loss team, and I think people will go, how good? They'll have a good shot against Highland Park. But Highland Park's playing pretty well. I mean, their Highland Park's game with Mansfield Legacy, people ask, they go, how can you be in the third round of the playoffs? And, the game essentially would be over 10 minutes into the first quarter. And it's just a lot of it's kind of a matchup thing. Teams don't match up well with the spread offense, or they do match up well and they take it away, and now all of a sudden the team can't pass. So there's a little bit of that. And then if Legacy would have played Wiley last week and Highland Park played South Oak Cliff, it might be Legacy again against Highland Park. So there you have to take into account the matchups. But again, I also think Highland Park is a little bit of a surprising story because they're a really good team, but they're not a great team by any stretch, and they could certainly win this week, and then all of a sudden they're in the state semifinals.
Sure. I think you and Chris both said SAC was going to win last week. I just
Yeah,
want to point that out.
I think we both tried to go with SAC, so I'm sure we have some Wiley parents and players who are going, oh, you underestimated us, and I wouldn't underestimate them. I mean, the Cameron Kelly is a terrific player for them, and you know it takes more than one player, but when you have a player that can make a special play, and it could be a 3rd and 6. Or it could be, an 88-yard run. I mean, at different points in the game, that is sort of the leverage that makes a difference. And they got it rolling against a very good South Oak Cliff team. I mean, I wouldn't put it, South Oak Cliff wasn't as good as we thought. Wiley's just better than we gave him credit for.
Gotcha. Well, I always like it when we have full disclosure, when we make faux pas like that. Well, that's